Hello and welcome to Simple Man Outdoorsman. I'm going to be reviewing products and trying to give you the information that I would want to know if I was purchasing the product myself. I hope you enjoy. So today I'm going to be reviewing a new product called the Apeman Trail Cam, model number h70. I know unboxings are a little cliche, but I think it has some value to see exactly what's in the box and what it looks like. I sped it up to kind of power through this for you. I mean, come on, the box even says hello. The manual's pretty thick, but hopefully you don't have to look at that after doing this review. Comes with a strap, obviously, and this mounting system. I'm going to put it together and show you how to mount it to a tree. As far as my first impression of this camera, taking it out of the box and looking at it, I really like the size of it. It's not too big, it's not too small. It'll fit nicely in my backpack. Just opening up the camera, you can tell the camera's put together very well. I really like that they put a screen on the trail camera. I always like looking at the picture of the direction it's facing before I leave an area. The only con I see right now is I really like to have the option to lock the housing of the camera just to protect it from people taking the chip out. Other than that, I really like the camera. These are just the specifications of the camera, what they say it does, and also why you should choose the Apeman h70 trail camera. So I'll be doing some tests here in the next little bit, and we can decide for ourselves. So this camera takes 8 AA batteries. There's a little latch there at the bottom. I thought that was pretty clever. The SD card just goes right there on the side. Pretty easy access. Sometimes these cameras put them in a tough spot. I thought that was pretty easy. I'm just going to scroll through and kind of show you all the options of this camera. I really like how many options it gave me, but at the same time it didn't confuse me. It was pretty simple. So you can kind of just watch me go through these, and you can decide for yourself how you would set it up. And like always, you're going to want to format the card to the camera that you got. This is the bracket that the camera came with. It's pretty easy to install. You just screw it on the bottom of the camera there, and then you kind of get it snug with that plastic spin at the bottom. And then you're gonna take those two nuts and smash that bracket pretty much together. As soon as you get those tight, the Allen wrench you see at the top of the screen, when you get the camera in the position you want, you're gonna tighten the 2 Allen wrench set screws in the middle of the bracket there. And then you're gonna screw it to the tree and you're set to go. This will be the game camera test I'm going to be performing. First, I'm going to do a waterproof test. I'm going to spray it down really good with the hose just to make sure it's completely waterproof and that it functions for the rest of the test properly. Second, I'm going to do a trigger distance both day and night just to see what that true distance is. Third, I'm going to do a temperature sensitivity test. I'm going to do both hot and cold. And then fourth, I'm going to do a blurry picture speed test. All that is I'm going to be doing various speeds in front of the camera just to see when the pictures then become blurry. And I'll give you my overall grade, 1 through 10, and talk about it a little bit. And then I'll be doing a field performance, a follow-up video here in the next few months. Waterproof test went well. I sprayed it down really good, took pictures, took videos, and nothing inside was wet. Now on to my distance test. Started off at 20, went to 30, 40, all the way out to 65. It did not pick me up at 65. It picked me up at about 63, but I thought that was pretty impressive at night. I even did a low light picture at 65 and it picked me up. Started again with direct sunlight and it picked me up all the way out to 65. I even tried 70 and I couldn't get it, so they were spot on. I forgot to change it to Fahrenheit. That's what I go off of, so I'll write it on there for you. But did real well as far as the cold temperature, got below freezing. And every time I opened up the freezer, it took a picture. So left it in there for a few hours, opened it up, warmed up to about 6 degrees, but still did awesome. Now on to the hot part of the temperature test. That's not going to be hard because I live here in Arizona. But I wanted to put the camera, towards the wall just because I wanted to dictate when the camera takes the pictures. And then a bird flew in and got a picture right about 75 degrees. Then when it got a little hotter, 86, I had my kid go put a ball on the tee. Little did he know he got a picture taken. I wanted to talk to you about this. There's several pictures of this. The tree was kind of blowing. You see the shadow right by the tee of the tree. It was taking pictures. I think when it gets hot into the 90s, it gets a little temperature sensitive and trigger happy. That's my daughter there at 93 degrees. When it shaded up and the wind died down, it started acting perfectly normal again. On a really hot day, I kind of wanted to have fun with it. I put it out direct sun, got up to about 114, opened up my garage, and it took a picture. With the leaves blowing around in front of it, it took a few faulty pictures, but that, I guess, is understandable for 114. On to the blurry picture motion test. Had my daughter put her hat on backwards and run past with a shed. Picture came out good. I even gave it a shot. Came out good. I even put it in front of my house and had a car drive by. Probably going about 20 miles an hour. Came out great. I tried one at night with the shed. I could tell how many points there was on that shed, and my daughter's doing a good jog, so overall came out great. Wanted to take a second and talk about the battery life of this camera, and the last part of this review I talk about pros and cons, and I forgot to put it in my pros, but it definitely is a pro of this camera. The battery life is amazing. I put it in a field of cows and I had it take a picture like every 15 seconds. Filled up my card, close to 5,000 pictures after I've already done all the reviews and videos, testing, and still have half a battery life left. So definitely a pro with this camera. Welcome to Simple Man Outdoorsman. This is my final kind of overall comments on this camera, the pros and cons. I've been reviewing this h70 trail cam by Apeman. And I thought I'd give you a pretty background. So put some deer back there for you. But I'll just get right into the pros and cons. Cons first. Like I said earlier in the video, I do like having a lock to lock, from people opening up the camera and taking my chip out. Even though some people could get in still probably, break it or whatever. I always feel that if you make it harder for them, sometimes they'll just keep walking. So that is a con for me. Also the heat, when it gets real hot up into the 90s, a lot of you may not have that problem, but I do in Arizona, especially in August, September, when I'm trying to get pictures of deer. It gets really sensitive, and that's just not a total knock on Apeman. A lot of trail cameras get real sensitive when it gets real hot. There's a few things you can do to avoid that. Definitely putting it in the shade, not having it in direct sunlight, and also having it on a sturdy tree, a tree that's not going to move at all when the wind blows, and also not having any debris in the front of the camera, trying to get all the grass and limbs that would trigger it when it's real sensitive. And then put it in on low sensitivity when you have it in the hot summer months. But as far as the cold, if you're a cold weather guy, you're not going to have this problem, and in the cold it functions awesome. So like we saw in the video. Another con with this camera, and it's not just this camera, I've found on a lot of cameras, it does make that little bit of a noise when it switches from night to day or day to night, just that first picture. So I mean, I do have a camera that doesn't, but that camera costs a lot. So I found that most cameras do make that little bit of a noise, and so you just want to be sensitive of where you put it. And with this camera, you can back it up. Don't put it right on top of where they're coming through, or the water, or wherever you put it. This thing picks up like it says it does, 65 feet. I even had a cow walk through the trees, and I'm sure it was further than 65 feet, and it picked it up. So so with that, with that little bit of a noise, don't hesitate to back this camera up. It does pick up motion very good. On to the pros. I do like the size of this camera. I don't like it when they're tiny. I don't know why. Maybe it's just because you can't put a lot of batteries in it. But I do like the size, and I don't like them when they're real big. I think this is a great size. Also, the picture quality is amazing. I know some cameras say like 1 million megapixels, and the picture quality is not very good. This picture quality is good, and the video is good, so you don't have to worry about the quality. At night, it varies, and that's with most cameras. But the picture quality is great. I really do like the no flash at night. I just kind of want to know what's coming through. I don't want to spook them. I just want to know if it's a certain buck or a doe. And this camera does a good job not spooking them. I did have it out in the field for a few weeks, and it took good pictures at night. Also, I really like all the options on this camera. That's definitely a pro for me, not a con. But with that said, it's super simple. So there's another pro. It doesn't confuse you at all. So you just kind of go through, you set it up exactly how you want, and you're good to go. Last but not least, I really do like the cost of this camera. I just looked it up on Amazon. It's $59.99, so 60 bucks. I mean, this is all you need. This is all I need, and it does the job for $59.99. So I hope you enjoyed the tests. I thought it did fairly well, especially with the distance and motion. I was literally running as fast as I could, and it took good quality pictures. Even one picture in the field, I'll try to put it up on here, but there was a bird flying, and it took a great picture of a bird flying through. So thank you for watching this review. I hope it was helpful. My overall grade of this camera, I'll just throw a number out there. Out of 10, I'd give it an 8.4, which is a good grade for the price and everything else. So please like and subscribe, and I'll be doing more reviews for you. Thank you.
Yeah, leave them like that.